Hi everybody, it's Chef Deb Fewell at Fuel to the Fire. I'm showing you a wonderful recipe for tailgating. It's a healthy recipe. It's actually vegan because I can't forget about my vegan vegetarians out there. So today we're going to do a vegan stuffed mushroom. It's so yummy, so packed with flavors, so good. Because when you're vegan and you're cutting out certain things, you still want the flavor to stay. You don't want the flavor to get up and walk away. So we're going to keep that and we're going to get started. Okay, you ready? Let's go. So I'm going to chop up some parsley. Okay, and my pan is already getting warm for me. So let's chop up some fresh parsley. I love the smell of fresh parsley. So unintimidating, but yet so much flavor. That fresh green flavor in whatever you put it in. Okay, so we got that chopped up. I already have my red onion that's chopped up because we're going to add that to our mixture as well. And then I'm going to chop some garlic because we want to add the flavor. Again, we're adding in flavor. Did I lose one? Yep. Okay. And again, you hit the garlic just to break it up somewhat. And if it had the skin on it, it would help you get the skin off. And then also it helps you get to the mince faster. So here we go. I love garlic. So good and so good for you. So let's put that on our plate as well. So we have garlic, onion, red onion, and parsley already chopped up for us. Now this little gem right here is what's called vegan ground meat. It has the texture of ground meat, but it's not meat. So it's actually a pea and wheat protein substitute. So I love it because it's so much flavor. This is the feisty, so it has like a almost like a Mexican Latin flavor with the cumin and maybe a little bit of paprika and those sorts of things to it. But it's so good and it's such a great substitute if you're trying to cut that meat out, okay? So what I'm gonna do is put some oil in the pan. Okay. And matter of fact, I'm not gonna start with that. I'm gonna start with my veggies because you wanna get those veggies really, really sauteed up and wilted down, okay? So we're gonna go ahead and put the veggies in the pan. Wonderful. And be careful not to have your flame too high because you don't want that garlic to burn. What happens when garlic burns, it turns bitter and it ruins the dish flavor-wise. So you want to be careful with that. So we got that sauteing here. Let's turn it. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Saute this up so those vegetables can get nice and wilted. Now, what I'm going to do, though, too, in the meantime, while that's cooking a little bit, I'm going to take the stems out of the mushrooms because we don't want this piece because we want it to be hollow. I've done a few already, and I'm going to finish them off now. So let's just break it off. It'll snap right off for you. So neat. Make sure it's out of there because you want your filling to go in there. Okay, just snap them right out. And then you could actually chop up the stems if you want and put them into your mixture. So let's go ahead and do that. Added flavor, added texture. Mushrooms can give you like a meaty texture, especially if you're not having the meat necessarily, but the mushrooms, and they will give that to you back. The portobellos I love because they're actually more flavorful. That brown mushroom has a lot more flavor to me than the white ones. The white ones have their place too. You know, I'm not mad at a white button mushroom. Okay. So let's get this in there. I smell my garlic cooking, so I want to keep it moving. Another thing, keeping it moving keeps it from burning and browning too much as well. It smells really good. So at this point, what I'm going to do is season this a little bit, the veggies. Because our meat substitute is already seasoned, I'm just going to go ahead and season our vegetables. A little sprinkle of salt, some fresh cracked pepper, oregano dried. I like the oregano, and what you want to do is you want to get it in your fingers because I like to just break it apart. It releases the oils that are already in there. Believe it or not, there are some oils that are in oregano, and I can just smell it. So you have that. a little bit of onion powder, okay, and a little bit of my daddy's herbs. This is actually an herb blend that my dad created that we have now as a family. 11 different herbs ground down into a powder, nothing else in it, just straight from the earth. So let's go ahead and saute that up. Oh, it smells so wonderful. Nice and herby. Okay, so at this point, you want to get your meat substitute in there, the vegan ground meat in there. And again, this is no soy. I know a lot of times when you go vegan or vegetarian, you probably get a lot of products that have soy. So this one doesn't have any soy in it. So that's another benefit of this one. So let's add some smoked paprika because I like that smoky flavor. Also, it's a tailgate, so you kind of want to keep that smoke with, you know, the flavors. I love it. So let's keep going on this. It's a nice little saute. And then I'm going to go ahead and shake in some Worcestershire sauce. And the reason I'm doing this is because Worcestershire has a flavor of like a meaty, steaky. When you think about Worcestershire, you're thinking about meats. So I like that it adds that to it, even though it's not. So good. And this is nutritional yeast. Nutritional yeast gives you a cheesy flavor without the cheese. So I love it for that. It also has other properties as far as nutrition goes, but I'm just going to flake some of this in here. Okay. It has great flavor as well. Adds wonderful flavor to anything you add to it. Add it to. I can smell it already as soon as it hit that pan. Now, the last ingredient, which is going to bind all this together somewhat so it can go into our mushrooms, is ketchup. So let's go ahead and get a little bit of ketchup. Now, you can use tomato paste. You can use stewed tomatoes. I would even add lentils to this sometimes. Lentils is really good. Another set of protein. So just mix it all in together and then stuff it. It's so good once you bake them and roast them off. So let's get this in here. Just a little bit of that tomato flavor with a little bit of sweetness just to balance out that little bit of salt we put in there. Okay, because you always want to make sure you balance your flavors. You never want it to just be one or the other. You want the balance. So let's go ahead and stir that in. So this is going to give us just enough moisture that we need. Because again, once you bake this off, the mushrooms are going to give up their moisture and they're going to make everything nice and yummy when you bite into it. So you don't want it too wet because you don't want it to be all mushy when you bite into it. You want some texture. I love that. That smells so good. Okay, looks like we pretty much got this done. So I'm going to turn off my heat and then we're going to start stuffing the mushrooms. Put that there. Okay. Let me grab a spoon. I think a spoon would serve me better, a small spoon. Okay, so let's go in and let's start this. So you just want to get enough down in their packet. And you can always go back over if you don't feel anyone has enough. Those are so pretty. They look so good. I love the color of the green with the red onion. And it's okay if a little bit falls off to the side. It's okay. It doesn't have to be perfect because we're having fun. We're being festive. It's not about being uptight. It's laid back, but yummy. We need the yum. Beautiful. Okay, let's get some more in here. Smells really good. They're going to be nice and flavorful. Oh, that's hot too. Oh, that's so good though. It's going to be so good. I'm excited. I think I might have asbestos hands by now. My hands are like anti-heat. Over the years as a chef, you know, my hands get tempered with a lot of the heat that I end up having to handle. So we're adding fuel to the fire for real today. Here we go. Get it all down in there. Nice and yummy and full because we want our protein. I don't want to miss anybody on the protein. You need that. as well as the veg. Light and lean, but yet still yummy. That's the goal, right? Don't want to skimp on the flavor. That's good. I think this one needs a little bit more, and then we'll put a little bit more here, and then we'll get them in the oven. I'm gonna rinse my hands really quickly. There we go. A little pepper on top. This time we have olive oil, a little drizzle. Help have that crispy on the outside. Okay, so now these are ready to go into the oven, and we're gonna set the oven for 400 degrees, okay? You wanna bake these for about maybe 15 to 20 minutes because the mushroom is gonna cook fast. You want it to still have some bite in the mushroom and not cook to get too soggy. So we're gonna get these in the oven, okay? Okay, so now these stuffed mushrooms, vegan style, are good. They're so done right now. We just pulled them out the oven. So let's just go ahead and get them plated up, and then you'll be ready to enjoy them. Oh, they look so good. And this kitchen is smelling so wonderful with that garlic and the onions. Oh, and that smoked paprika, you can really smell it coming through. And that's gonna add so much flavor to the portobello mushroom too. And as you can see, the mushroom is still firm and it's not buckling underneath the stuffing. And that's exactly what we want. We want them to be nice and firm and good to the bite. You want that bite. I think that one lost a little bit on the top, so let's just put it back. Oh, yes. I can't wait. And I love the way the mushrooms held up, so your guests are gonna love this recipe, especially the ones that are vegan or vegetarian. They're gonna thank you for this because now they have a flavorful, wonderful option at the tailgate. So I hope you guys enjoy this recipe because I had fun making it. See you later.